Hi everyone. You are watching the MyBrain Learning channel. Our today's episode on the basics of algebra is about fractions and its operation. In this topic, you will be able to solve fractions involving algebraic fractions and complex equations that you will also encounter up to higher branches of mathematics. Fraction is defined as the quantity that is expressed by a certain integer or number divided equally by another number or integer. A fraction consists of the upper part, which is the numerator, and the lower part, which is the denominator. The numerator represents the number taken out of the total number of parts, which is the denominator. A fraction such as a over b may be expressed by the ratio of a is to b. Like for example, in the fraction 3 over 4, 3 is the numerator while 4 is the denominator. Furthermore, in the fraction 1 over 2, 1 is the numerator while 2 is the denominator. The types of fractions are: proper fraction, which is defined as the type of fraction that has an absolute value of less than 1. The numerator of a proper fraction is lower than the value of the denominator. Examples of a proper fraction are 4 over 5, 5 over 7 and 6 over 9. Improper fraction is a type of fraction that has an absolute value equivalent to greater than 1 or equivalent to 1. The numerator of a proper fraction is higher than the value of the denominator. For example, 3 over 2, 4 over 3 and 7 over 4. Mixed fraction is the combination of a whole integer or number, except a zero, and a proper fraction. Like for instance, 5 and 3/4, wherein 5 is the whole integer or number while 3/4 is the fraction. Complex fraction is a type of fraction which has fraction in its numerator and the denominator. For example, 2 over 3 all over 4 over 5. To simplify this complex fraction, place down the number 3 of the fraction 2 over 3 as the multiplier of the numerator of 4 over 5 below the complex fraction. The number 5 of the fraction 4 over 5 will then be placed up as the multiplier in the upper fraction. Thus, the complex fraction is now simplified to 2 times 5 over 4 times 3. The fraction will now be equal to 10 over 12, that can further be simplified to 5 over 6 after dividing both 10 and 12 by the greatest common factor 2. Greatest common factor, or GCF, will be discussed later in the succeeding topics. Simple fractions are type of fractions that have the same denominator. Like for instance, 1 over 2, 3 over 2 and 7 over 2 are simple fractions. Furthermore, 4 over 3, 2 over 3 and 5 over 3 are also simple fractions. Reciprocal fraction is a type of fraction that is a number, except a zero, raised to a negative number. Thus, x to the negative n will be equal to 1 over x to the power of n. For example, 5 to the negative 2 will be equal to 1 over 5 squared. Finding the greatest common factor, or the GCF. To reduce a certain fraction to a lowest term, first find the greatest common factor, or the GCF, of both the numerator and the denominator. Greatest common factor is defined as the greatest number which is the factor between two or more numbers. It is exactly divisible to the aforementioned two or more numbers. For example, to find the GCF of 10 and 40, write down the factors of each number. The factors of 10 are 1, 2, 5, and 10. While for the number 40 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 20, and 40. As shown in the factors of both numbers 10 and 40, the GCF is equal to 10. For another example are 18 and 36. The factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, and 18. While for the number 36 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 12, 18, and 36. As shown in the factors of both numbers 18 and 36, the GCF is equal to 18. Let us now go to least common multiple and the least common denominator. When we say least common multiple, or LCM, it is defined as the least positive multiple common to two or more numbers. For example, Find the LCM of 3 and 4. The multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on. While for the number 4 will be 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. Thus, the LCM of 3 and 4 is the number 12. Least common denominator, or the LCD, is defined as the least common multiple of the denominator of a fraction or the set of fractions. For example, the fractions such as 1 over 2, 4 over 5 and 3 over 4 will have the following multiples of the denominators. For the fraction 1 over 2, the multiples of the denominator 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and so on. For the fraction 4 over 5, the multiples of the denominator 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and so on. For the fraction 3 over 4, the multiples the denominator 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and so on. If you compare the multiples for the denominators of fractions 1 over 2, 4 over 5 and 3 over 4, the least common denominator is the number 20. Let us now go to the operation of fractions. This topic includes reducing the fraction to a lowest term, changing the sign of a fraction, addition of fractions, subtraction of fractions, multiplication of fractions, and division of fractions. Starting with the reducing the fraction to a lowest term. In the fraction 6 over 18, first find the GCF for both the numerator 6 and 18. The factors of the numerator 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. The factors of the denominator 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. As shown, factors of the 6 and 18, the GCF is 6. To simplify the fraction 6 over 18, just divide both the numerator and the denominator by the greatest common factor 6. Thus, 6 divided 6 over 18 divided by 6. The lowest term of the fraction 6 over 18 will then be equal to 1 over 3. Let's have another example. For the fraction 8 over 48, the factors of the numerator 8 are 1, 2, 4, and 8, while for the denominator 48 are 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 16 and 48. The greatest common factor as shown for both the numerator and the denominator is 8. To simplify the fraction 6 over 48, simply both divide the numerator 8 and the denominator 48 by the greatest common factor 8. Thus, the fraction 8 over 48 will be equal to 1 over 6. In the changing the signs of a fractions, positive like signs of numerator and denominator will be equal to a positive fraction. For example, positive 1 over positive 3 will be equal to positive 1 over 3. If a negative like sign is in the numerator and the denominator, this will be equal to the positive fraction. Like for instance, negative 6 over negative 7 will be equal to positive 6 over 7. If a positive fraction has unlike signs in the numerator and in the denominator, the sign of the fraction will become negative. Like for instance, a positive fraction 5 over negative 7 will be equal to negative 5 over 7. If a negative fraction has unlike signs in the numerator and in the denominator, the sign of the fraction will become positive. For example, negative 3 over negative 4 will become a fraction positive 3 over 4. For the addition or subtraction of fractions, let us first discuss the example on simple fractions which have the similar denominator. The numerators will be added, then write down its similar denominator common to all fractions. Like for example, 3 over 5 plus 6 over 5. Adding 3 and 6 will be equal to numerator 9. Write down their same denominator, which is the number 5. Thus, 3 over 6 plus 6 over 5 is equal to 9 over 5. Another example is 2 over 3 plus 5 over 3 plus 7 over 3. Simply add 2, 5, and 7, which are equal to 14. Since their denominators are all similar, the fraction will be equal to 14/3. Let us use one of the first two examples for the subtraction of fractions. If 6/5 minus 3/5, simply subtract the numerator 3 from the other numerator 6. The fraction will then be equal to 3 over their similar denominator 5. Let us now go to the addition or subtraction either with proper and improper fraction or combination of both. To solve the sum or difference of these types of fractions, we will now apply the least common denominator or LCD as discussed earlier. Like for instance, 2/3 plus 3/5. First find the LCD of the denominators 3 and 5. The multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and so on. The multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. As shown in the multiples of both the numerator 3 and the denominator 5, the LCD will be 15. To add 2/3 and 3/5, multiply both fractions by 15/15. In the fraction 2/3, numerator 2 times 15 which is equal to 30 then divided by the denominator 3. The numerator will now become 10 over the LCD 15. In the fraction 3/5, numerator 3 times 15 which is equal to 45 then divided by the denominator 5. The numerator will now become 9 over the LCD 15. The both fractions 2/3 and 3/5 are now similar fractions 10/15 and 9/15. Simply add the numerators 10 and 9 then write down the number denominator 15. Therefore, 2/3 plus 3/5 is equal to 19/15. Addition or subtraction of two fractions without using the LCD will be done in 2/3 plus 3/5 by just simply multiplying their numerators by the other denominators. And to find their common denominator, just multiply the denominators 3 and 5. Thus, 2 times 5 plus 3 times 3 all over 3 times 5. Furthermore, the numerator will be 10 plus 9. Therefore, 2/3 plus 3/5 is equal to 19/15. Let us now try the three sample fractions as discussed in LCM and LCD. In this example we will use addition and subtraction. For example, 1/2 plus 4/5 minus 3/4. The LCD of these fractions in the topic discussed is 20. We then multiply these fractions by 20/20. If we multiply the fraction 1/2 by 20/20, 1 times 20 then divided by 2 and write down the denominator 20. If we then multiply the fraction 4/5 by 20/20, 4 times 20 then divided by 5 and write down the denominator 20. If we also multiply the fraction 3/4 by 20/20, 3 times 20 then divided by 4 and write down the denominator 20. Thus, the similar fractions are now 10/20 plus 16/20 minus 15/20. Furthermore, the numerator will now be 10 plus 16 minus 15 all over 20. Therefore, the final answer will be equal to 11/20. Example of an addition of mixed fraction is 2/4 plus 3/1/2. First rearrange the equation to 2 plus 3 plus 1/4 plus 1/2. Simply add 2 and 3 which is equal to 5 then perform the addition of fraction for 1/4 plus 1/2. The multiples of 4 of the fraction 1/4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on while the multiples of 2 of the fraction 1/2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. As shown multiples for both denominators of 1/4 and 1/2, the LCD is the number 8. Thus, multiply 8 over to the quantity of 1/4 plus 1/2. To multiply the fraction 1/4 to 8/8, 1 times 8 divided by 4 which is equal to 2 as the numerator then write down the denominator 8. To multiply the fraction 1/2 to 8/8, 1 times 8 divided by 2 which is equal to the numerator 4 then write down the denominator 8. Since 2 over 8 and 4 over 8 are simple fractions, add 2 and 8 then write down the denominator 8. Thus, the fraction will now be equal to 6 over 8. To simplify the fraction 6 over 8, find the GCF for the numerator 6 and the denominator 8. As shown factors, the GCF is 2. Therefore, if you divide the GCF number 2 to 6 and 8, the final answer will now be equal to 5 and 3/4. Let now go to an example of subtraction of mixed fraction 8 2 over 3 to 5 1 over 5. First rearrange the equation to 8 to 5 plus 2 over 3 to 1 over 5. The fraction parts are added because they are the part of the difference of the whole number 8 and 5. Get the difference of 8 and 5 which is equal 3, then perform the subtraction of 2 over 3 to 1 over 5. The multiples of the fraction 2 over 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on, while the multiples of the fraction 1 over 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20 and so on. As shown, multiples of the fractions 2 over 3 and 1 over 5, the LCD found is the number 15. Thus, multiply the fractions 2 over 3 and 1 over 5 both by 15 over 15. To multiply the fraction 2 over 3 by 15 over 15, 2 times 15 divided by 3 which is equal to the numerator 10, then write down 15 as the denominator. To multiply the fraction 1 over 5 by 15 over 15, 1 times 15 divided by 5 which is equal to the numerator 3, then write down 15 as the denominator. Since 10 over 15 and 3 over 15 are simple fractions, find the difference of 10 and 3, then write down the denominator 15. Thus, the fraction will now be 3 plus 7/15. Therefore, the fraction will now be equal to 3 and 7/15. Our last topic is the multiplication and division of fractions. For example, in 4 over 5 times 5 over 7, just multiply the numerators and the denominator. Thus, 4 times 5 which is the numerator 20. Then 5 times 7 which will be our denominator 35. Multiplication may be done in any number of fractions. By applying the division, we can further simplify the fraction 20 over 35 by dividing them both by the GCF. To get their GCF, let us again list down their factors. The factors for the numerator 20 are 1, 2, 5, 10, and 20. While for the denominator 35, these are the factors 1, 5, and 7. In the factors shown, the GCF is the number. If you divide both the numerator 20 and the denominator 35 by 5, the simplified and final answer will be 4 over 7. Example of the division of fractions is 3/4 over 2/5. Simply move down the number 4 of the upper fraction 3/4 as multiplier of the lower fraction 2/5. Move up the number 5 of the lower fraction 2/5 as a multiplier of the upper fraction. The fraction will now become 5 times 3 all over 4 times 2. Therefore, the fraction 3/4 over 2/5 is equal to 15 over 8. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you will like this video. Click the notification bell so that you will not miss the new videos to watch. Please like, share and subscribe to MyBrain Learning channel.